You want to try freelancing or become a virtual assistant or an executive virtual assistant, but at the same time, you don't want to quit your 9 to 5 or your corporate world or corporate work because you're not yet sure about freelancing. Then you better watch this video, continue watching this video, because I'm going to show you how you can actually do both. Welcome to episode 6 of season 1 of our series, How to Start as a Virtual Assistant, a Beginner's Guide. And this episode is, can you be a virtual assistant without actually quitting your 9 to 5 or your corporate job? For those of you who are new here, my name is Mia. I am currently a training and onboarding manager at Strivo. I train and onboard executive virtual assistants, but prior to being a training and onboarding manager, I used to be an executive virtual assistant as well. I started way back in 2021. Prior to being an executive virtual assistant, I was a call center agent as well as a business owner. I had my small wedding and events planning business. And maybe just like you, before becoming a virtual assistant, I didn't have any experience in freelancing or in being a VA. Just like what I said in the beginning, you can also be a virtual assistant without actually quitting your 9 to 5 or your corporate world. And on this video, we are going to answer how you can actually do it. But first, let's start with the why. Why should you start freelancing as a side hustle when you've never done freelancing before? First things first. If you start this as a side hustle, you get to build your skills and also look for or start your client base without the financial pressure. You have to understand that starting a virtual assistant career or a remote work career is starting your own business. So this is you selling your services to a client who is based overseas. That's why I keep on telling people that once you decide to become a freelancer or a virtual assistant, you need to change your mindset from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset, because this is actually a business. That's why if you are unsure or you're not yet 100% willing to take the risk of becoming a freelancer and leaving the security of your corporate job, then starting this as a side hustle or as a side gig is definitely the best way that you can do it, so that you can get to feel whether this is an industry that actually works for you. Because take note, I have a lot of friends who ask help from me, especially during the middle of the pandemic, and especially here in the Philippines where traffic is really bad. So they reach out to me and say, Mia, I want to be also a remote worker or a freelancer or just an executive virtual assistant like you. So I try to help them, but then at the same time, or after a few months of trying out the freelancing or the executive assistant role, they realize that it's not for them. They still want to go to work. They still want the community built within the four walls of an actual office. So the remote work didn't actually work for them. That's why it's very important to gradually transition, especially if you've been working in the corporate industry for years. So it's very important to gradually transition. Now, if you are someone who is going to do virtual assistant or freelancing as your very first work, then it might not be that hard for you to transition because you've never had an experience in the corporate industry. So it will be a little bit easier for you to take the risk or take the plunge of doing this full time. But it's also very smart to start this as a side hustle first, because again, like what I mentioned earlier, this is actually a business and this is not you being an employee, even if somebody else or a client is going to hire you for the job. Another reason why it's great to start freelancing as a side hustle, especially for a beginner, it's because you can explore other services or the type of service or niche that you want to focus on before going all in. The first few episodes before this final or this episode 6 is where I discussed about the different niches that is available out there. whether I also talked about if you want to try to become a generalist or a specialist. And then I also talked about how to start. So you can watch those videos so that you will have an understanding of what I am trying to explain in terms of exploring the different services that you would like to offer before going all in freelancing or in virtual assistants. Like with me, from my own experience, I've started as an executive virtual assistant, but I also tried doing social media management, and it's not for me. Being an executive assistant is really for me. I'm not a creative. I love processes. I love creating steps. I love creating sequence. That's why I enjoyed being an executive virtual assistant. And then now I'm transitioning and focusing on training and onboarding because that's where my passion is. Teaching others how to be successful in this role. Another reason why it's very smart for you to start freelancing as a side hustle is that this is low risk. It's a low risk way to transition to freelancing full time. So once you have your 9 to 5 and then you have probably 2 hours or 4 hours of a virtual assistant work after your 9 to 5, that's when you'll start to realize, okay, I want to go all in. I want to do this full time. I no longer want to be in corporate. I am enjoying this. I am enjoying being my own boss. I am enjoying calling my own shots. I am enjoying preparing all of my own documents and all of those things. But you don't have to. The great thing right now is that you have different options when starting in freelancing. You don't actually have to be like all in and starting this as your business, but you can actually join or apply virtual assistant companies. That will actually help you transition to becoming a full-time remote worker or virtual assistant. There are a lot of virtual assistant companies out there that are hiring part-time. Some are hiring full-time, but you can definitely find those who are hiring part-time. In the description down below, I will provide you with the link of the different virtual assistant agencies or companies that you can apply, that you can try to apply to. And these are the virtual assistant companies that I vouch for, and they are really good, they are legit, and they are trusted virtual assistant companies. Now, if you are like decided that, okay, I'm gonna do this. I want to start being a virtual assistant part-time. I want to do this as a side hustle or as a side gig. What is the first thing that you are going to do? You are going to first see how you're going to manage your time while you're working full-time for your corporate job. Always be realistic about your time and the number of hours that you are available to do a side hustle, because a lot of clients will require you 4 hours per day or 20 hours per week. Some clients might ask for shorter hours, but it depends on the client that you are going to book. So you have to decide at the beginning, how many hours can you actually do this side hustle? So if you say you can work 5 hours per day or 4 hours per day, then that's great. If not, you can decide probably do 10 hours per week. That would be around 2 hours per day. Together with the timing is you have to decide whether you're also going to work on weekends, since this is a side hustle. So once you decide that, okay, I can work on weekends, then you can include that in how you sell yourself to the potential client, saying that you are available to work on weekends, so on and so forth. To also make sure that you can deliver these hours and not get burnt out or not get distracted, is you have to make sure that you learn how to properly time block your calendar. Meaning, you have to make sure that you fix your calendar just the way that you fix your client's calendar. So how you want your client's calendar to look like, that's how your calendar, or that's how you should also take care of your calendar. So you have time blocks for your regular 9 to 5 and then a time block for your side hustle. You should also have time blocks for your breaks, because again, you cannot burn out. So once you have locked in the number of hours that you can actually commit to the side hustle, that's where you can actually start looking for clients and deciding what type of service as well you can offer. Another way that you can start freelancing as a side hustle is to get project-based clients or project-based work instead of a per hourly work. Project-based work usually works for creatives like, let's say, social media manager or a video editor or a graphic designer. But for us executive, similar to my expertise as an executive virtual assistant, it's very hard to get project-based work. But you can do that as long as you learn the tools. For example, you can learn how to do automations, create SOPs or standard operating procedures, wherein they will just hire you to create those specific deliverables. If you have background in training, you can also do training materials for a specific expertise that you know how to do. So just make sure that when you decide to do project-based work is that you can sell yourself or you can sell your services for a project-based offer. Now that we are on the topic of services, let's talk about the best freelancing niches or specialties for side hustles. So first, these are the niches that you should look for. There should be clear deliverables for that specific niche or specialty. There should be flexible deadlines that you can provide when you choose this niche. And it should be remote and async communication, or you can work with the client, of course, remotely and communicate with them asynchronous. Now, let's go to the list of the side hustle friendly niches that you can choose as your side hustle. First up, of course, is your general virtual assistant work. Most of the activities or the deliverables here are data entry, inbox cleanup, and calendar organization. So you can come in and tell your client that, okay, I can do data entry, inbox, and calendar organization for you for 4 hours or 2 hours per day. So all you have to do on a daily basis is to do an inbox sweep, reach inbox 0, make sure that their calendars are optimized, and data entry for any information that they need. You can data entry through Google Sheets or Google Drive or whatever platform that they are using. Another side hustle friendly niche is your graphic design or your creative niches. So you have graphic designers, social media managers, you also have video editors. So these are creative niches that can you can easily offer this as a project-based work instead of a per hourly work, which is very easy or easier if you're looking at to start freelancing as a side hustle. Another side hustle friendly specialty is your podcast virtual assistant. This is a very new niche. There are so few people who knows how to do podcast VA. So if you're someone who's starting and you're afraid of competing with other virtual assistants, you can learn how to do podcast virtual assistant. It's a very technical, there should still be a creative side, but it's not creative heavy like your social media managers or your graphic designers and video editors. So with podcast VA, it's more on guest coordination, meaning you have to make sure that the guest arrives on time, that the invitations are sent out, and then you also have to create your show notes, and then you have to do your content repurposing. So those are some of the tasks that you're going to do as a podcast virtual assistant. There are a lot of podcast VAs, not a lot, sorry. I think I've seen 3 the most in terms of the community that I am in. The best one and a very good friend of mine who is a podcast virtual assistant, and she's helped me a lot in starting my podcast, which I haven't started up until now, is let's see, so that you can follow her. Okay, the sunshinecollective.ph, that's her Instagram handle, and her name is Tish. She is a podcast manager and she's amazing. She has trainings. I'm just not sure if she has free materials, but she do offer trainings for aspiring podcast VAs. Now that we have an idea of the different type of niches or specialties that you can try for as a side hustle in starting your virtual assistant career, now let's talk about how you're going to get clients while you are still employed in your 9 to 5. first up, first things first, the best way for you to actually get clients is to leverage your current network. If you don't have a current network, you can leverage by joining other communities. You can join my community. There are a lot of virtual assistants who are going live on TikTok on a daily basis. You can hop in their lives and then you can start building your network. You can also join a lot of networking events. There are a lot of speaking events already happening all over the Philippines for freelancing, for freelancers, for remote workers. So you can start joining those activities. And you can also start building a community within your social group. It's going to be a little bit challenging for the introverts out there, but that is the easiest and most effective way for you to actually find clients, because referrals are very important for clients. It's the trust that they have with their existing VAs or the VAs that they know. And then once this VA refers someone, the trust is already there. So it's very important that you know these VAs so that they can refer you to clients, because that's the easiest, most effective way that you can get a client. And of course, another way to find clients is to use online job platforms like your Online Jobs PH, Upwork, Fiverr. Fiverr is a very good place or location for you to offer project-based work. So that's where I actually look for project-based remote workers or freelancers through Fiverr instead of Online Jobs or Upwork, because for Online Jobs or Upwork, it's usually full-time. So you can do, if you really want to focus on just project-based work, you can check out Fiverr. But if you're looking for, let's say, 4 hours per day or part-time work, then you can go to Online Jobs PH or Upwork as well as JobStreet. But make sure that when you use these online platforms, you have to be clear with your clients that you are only working part-time with specific number of hours per day or per week, so that it's clear to them that they're not going to expect full-time work from you. Other places that you can find clients are social media platforms. So you can look for clients on Instagram. That's where I get a lot of clients or a lot of inquiries from clients. Instagram. You can also look at Facebook pages or Facebook groups. You can also check out Yelp to find businesses there and then send your proposal. You can also look at Google Maps to find businesses wherever in the world so that you can offer your services to them. You can also look at TikTok or YouTube or any social media platform where you can find business owners, businesses that you can pitch your services to them as a part-time worker or a part-time freelancer. And of course, for your pitch to be successful and you get that client, you have to prepare an online profile. So you can quickly create an online profile using Canva or leverage your LinkedIn. That's actually another platform where you can find a lot of clients. LinkedIn, it's a mix of a job platform as well as social media. So make sure that you leverage or you optimize your LinkedIn profile so that you can easily get clients from LinkedIn. If you want to learn how to create your online profile and to optimize your LinkedIn profile, I actually have a video or a webinar that I posted here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to link it somewhere here or in the caption section below. You better watch that so that you can learn how to create your online profile and optimize your online profile, especially your LinkedIn. Now let's talk about when is the right time for you to be a full-time freelancer or virtual assistant. So you've tried the side hustle, you're enjoying being a virtual assistant, you love the remote work industry, you love working from home or working from anywhere. So what are the signs that you should watch out for so that you know that you are ready to take the leap and be your own boss? The first sign, of course, is that if you already have a client, or you can handle multiple clients. Let's say you already have at least 2 to 3 clients that consistently gives you work, then it's probably about time for you to take the leap into becoming a full-time VA. Another sign is that you've already replaced at least 60 to 80% of your monthly income, meaning you are earning so much more as a VA compared to your salary in the corporate industry. Another sign is that you have saved up at least 3 to 6 months worth of emergency funds. This will actually trigger or give you a sign that, okay, I can take the leap, be a full-time VA or a full-time freelancer. I can start looking for clients, and I am okay financially for the next 3 to 6 months, even if I don't get clients. Because remember, it's very hard, especially now. There are a lot of people who are trying to become virtual assistants. So competition is really, really tight. So you have to make sure that you have at least 3 to 6 months saving so that while you're looking for a client, you're still financially stable. Next sign that you are ready to take the leap into becoming a full-time freelancer or virtual assistant is that you've already developed systems for managing your work and income. When I talk about systems, you already have your onboarding process. You already know how and where to look for clients. You know how to pitch your services. You already have a contract. You already know, you already have a payment platform that your clients will send you. So you have systems placed. You have automated emails. You have a project management tool where you've already fixed all of your documents and all of your processes and all of your SOPs. Okay, so as long as you already have, or once you already have those systems placed in your business or in your work as a freelancer, then that's another sign that you are ready to become a full-time VA. Now, please remember that if you are someone who's coming from corporate industry or the corporate 9 to 5, do not quit too soon. Especially in this market right now, there are a lot of people who want to be a VA. Filipinos are not your only competition. I have a community in Africa wherein they are really growing in terms of number of people who also want to be a VA. We have people from Kenya. We have a lot from Somalia also. The Philippine market is not your only competition. We also have a lot of competition locally, meaning people from the US, people from Australia, people from Europe who also want to transition from corporate to being a virtual assistant. So you have to make sure that you really are 100% ready to leave the security of your corporate job and start being your own boss or being an entrepreneur as a virtual assistant. Now, my question for you is, are you ready to start freelancing as a side hustle while working your corporate 9 to 5? Or are you ready to take the leap and just go full-time with the freelancing? So tell me in the comment section what you feel, where you think you are currently in your career. I'd really love to know. For those who already have experience in transitioning from corporate to freelancing, why don't you share your stories or experiences in our comment section? And a lot of other aspiring VAs might definitely learn a thing or two from you. If you enjoyed this video, and of course, if you learned something from this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. You can also hit the notification bell so that you will always be notified once I upload videos every Thursday. Thank you for watching episode 6 and the final episode for season 1 of this series or our freelancing series. And on next Thursday, we are actually starting the first episode or launching the first episode of season 2. How to transition from corporate to virtual assistant. We also have 6 episodes that will focus on that main idea or that main point on how you can transition from being a corporate girly or corporate guy to becoming a full-fledged VA. So if you're looking forward to find out more about that, subscribe to my channel, follow my other social media platforms. Everything will be in the description down below. And thank you so much everyone for watching. I will see you again next Thursday for episode 1 of season 2 of this series. Bye!